Today we're going to replace the head lens for your front lights on a 2004 BMW 330i. If you look at this one, it's been replaced. This is the old one. As you can see, this lens is very darkened. It's been refinished once. It only lasts about maybe a year to a year and a half, and then it gets cloudy again, obstructing your vision at night. And the difference with the clear. So, the tools that you're going to need for this job: a set of needle nose pliers, a standard Phillips head screwdriver, a little wrench, pliers, and then a socket extension. Can be screwdriver type if you want. That's 8mm. The very first thing you're going to have to do is remove your front windshield washer nozzle that comes out for your headlights. Now, before you do that, you're going to want to drain out all of the liquid in your tank for your windshield washer fluid, which I've already done, but I'm going to show you a trick for that. So you get just a regular tubing, and if you stick a wire down in it and curve it at the end so it doesn't fall out, and just run it through the length, that allows you to get right down into the very bottom of the windshield washer reservoir. And then if you apply suction to the other end and lower it below the level of the tank and into a container, the gravity will pull all of that out once you get the suction to where it comes over the side of the car. Now, the first step to do is, I've already painted mine, and I've painted them a different color. I'm going to see if I like the contrasting color here, and if not, I'll paint them back to original body. But what you're going to do is, you can get a small flathead screwdriver to pull this out. You could also have somebody get in the car, turn the ignition to where your engine light comes on, and then press the turn your headlights on, and then press the windshield washer stick, and these will pop out. As they pop out, you can grab them, and I've already got mine disconnected. Let me go ahead and warn you, this is probably a good time to go ahead and change these. These are also another very common failure point for the leaks in your windshield washing system. What happens is, most likely if your car is older and you've had it for more than 5 or 6 years, these little loops that go around are going to be broken, and then these like to pop out. These are the sprayers themselves, or the sides of the sprayer down in here likes to crack, and that'll cause a leak that's very hard to find. So if you have a leaking windshield washer fluid and you don't know where it's coming from, and you've looked everywhere and it doesn't look like it's coming out of the box or any of the motors around it, this is most likely your culprit. Now, when this comes out, like my old one here, you're going to see that I have one side that's already broken on it. My other one was shattered pretty much all the way around the edges, so I had to replace it. This is about an $18 part at your dealership, a little over. And then the nozzles themselves, the plastic piece, these I think were about $34 to $38 a piece. So you're going to spend a little money to replace them, but you're already spending about $110 to $120 on your lenses. So what I'm going to do is, remember this, because this is how you're going to put it back together at the very end, but I'm going to use needle nose pliers, and down in here you will see that there's a nozzle. And if you just put your needle nose pliers in that nozzle and grip it, you can pull it out. Once your washer is extended, you're going to see right here that you can twist it, and I'm putting some pressure towards the my left of the vehicle, and that just keeps this from going back in. And you want to grab onto this end right here, and you're going to sort of twist this a little bit, not much as you can see, and you're going to be pulling outwards, and that'll pop out. And as you can see, there's a little ridge up at the top here, and on this piece there's a cutout that fits into. So when you put it back together, you're simply going to push and snap it back in, and then quickly release it, and it'll go all the way back in. Our first step is going to be removing our side marker, and if you follow the sheet metal up to the very first hole here, you're going to see that there's a plastic piece with a little Phillips head screw in there. So if you just loosen it, simply by sliding it forward. Once you slide it forward, there's a connection on the back here, and it's just one of them clips that you're going to push the clip in to remove your side marker. Next thing you're going to have to do is unclip this piece of molding around the front, and you're going to look down in here, and this is a 2004 330i, so I don't know what the others are like, but you're going to notice two little clips, and if you go up under the plastic piece in front of them with a flathead screwdriver, you're going to be able to pry it out of place, and then you go down to the second one and pry it out of place, and then you're going to have it disconnected. The next item you're going to do is you're going to move up to the top of the vehicle, and on the lights you're going to remove this top screw here, you're going to remove one over here, and if you look down beside the light down in this area, you're going to find towards this back side the hole, you're going to find a screw down in there that needs to be removed. And up on top of the vehicle, if you come back over near your xenon to the left of it, on the driver's side, you're going to find this one screw here that needs to be removed. So we're going to remove those 4 screws. When you remove the top screws, you're going to want to make sure that you don't get them mixed up with the other two. As you can see, this is the type that screws down into a plastic retainer on the bottom side of the frame here. The other screw into metal. So you'll want to use these, and you don't torque them down too far. So just remember, your 2 black ones go on the top bars of the headlight lens assembly. For this last screw over here on the inside of the light, you're going to want either a magnetic thing, or you can use just a old mechanic's trick of throwing a little piece of paper or shop towel down into the end of the wrench, and then putting it over the bolt of the head to create some friction and hold it in place. And you can do the same thing to put it back in. So now that I have that out, we can remove the lens. So now that that's removed, you can simply grab the entire lens assembly and work it forward and out. You're going to get to a point where you can access all the wires in the back, and then you can start removing those wires. Okay, so you have 4 connectors on your headlight lens, and they all have the press clip. You just press it down near the back and then wiggle it off. Now don't worry about these because they're each a different size and they can only fit 1 plug, so you'll figure it out. You've got 2 on this side, and then you have 2 on the left side. Once you have all that disconnected, your headlight lens is now free, and you can take it over to a soft bench or a chair, somewhere with a towel on it or whatnot, so you don't damage anything. So now that the lens is completely removed, I want to show you something else that's a quick fix for you. You would need to go through all these steps to also get to your front washer motor if this motor ever went bad. And you'll see it's in a housing. And it's pretty easy to get to once you've got it down to this stripped down level. And then you can replace that motor. I have not had one go bad yet. Now another point to make is when you're putting the headlight lens back in, the easiest thing to do is the back mount where the back screw goes into. You're just going to need to manually look at this and adjust the lens up or down or left or right to get centered on this, and it'll go in very quickly, very smoothly. If you're having resistance, you're probably not dead on this piece. And that piece from the top view is this, right here. Okay, so the first piece you're going to want to remove off of your headlight assembly is this rubber weather stripping here. And you're going to have a little point here, and you simply pull up and push inwards near the rear a little bit. There are 3 at the top, and then 2 on the sides. And once you push all of them, it simply slides straight out. The item you're going to want to remove is this bottom trim piece, and it's pretty easy. I would tell you that there's 3 points here. There's one up here, and this tab you can just push up, and it'll create an opening here. And then you're going to have one down in the middle. And if you look on the inside, there's a little tab in the middle that you're going to press. And when you press that, that'll release it. And then down at the very other end, there's a tab that you press and it'll release. And you can remove the entire piece off. Okay, once you've got all that off, let me give you some advice here. You're going to have 3 tabs on the bottom that you're going to pry up to release your lens. And it unsnaps very easily. At the top side, you're going to have 3 that you can pry up, and they as well will release. And you'll hear them snap, and you'll feel it come up. And you're going to have 1 on the inside of the lens that pops. At this point, it's just a matter of applying pressure up near the inside portion of the lens to remove it from the seal that it's made with the gasket. Let me give you some advice here. You do not want to touch anything inside the lens at all. You don't want to clean it. It may be fragile because it's the plastic and has the coating on it to give higher reflectivity. So just make sure you don't drop anything down in there and that you keep the inside area clean. Once you get the lens removed, you can set it to the side, and you're going to see a rubber gasket in the center here. And what you would do is just get something to pry under the rubber gasket and then pull it out. So if you take a screwdriver and go down on the inside of the frame between the gasket and then just pull it up, once you get it up, you can start pulling it off from all the way around. Now be careful here because your gasket's probably a little dirty, and you're going to want to maybe turn it upside down to remove the gasket so no dirt falls down inside onto the lenses. You've ordered a new gasket with your lens, and this gasket's going to come with some tape on the bottom, and it's going to be a tight fit, which I'm going to show you how to get the lens back in. The old gasket comes out, it's not glued in, it's just shaped to the recession in the plastic, and then to the recess in the plastic. And you can just pull it out and discard it, get your new one. Now as you're putting this in, you're just going to follow the grooves. Don't stretch it. It is exact fit, so do not stretch it. Don't worry about take all the tape off first and then just start pressing it into place. When you're going around corners, just press it in. Do not try to stretch it around the corners. If you have any bunching at the end, then that means that you've stretched it somewhere. You're just going to need to work it all the way around until it seats completely flat, and it's very easy to do. So once you have your new lens, you're just going to set it over in place and then pull out on the tabs as you seat it, and then I'm going to show you how to put it in. Quick word, mine is ZKW, so if you look on the front of your lens, you're wondering if you have the AL or the ZKW, it's right down on the inside corner, and it's a little emblem here, you'll see it, and that's the ZKW, and that's what I had on my original lens. A lot harder to see, but it's there, ZKW. So let's get the lens connected now. So you're going to fairly line it up. With each of your tabs. And and get it seated. So once you have it seated, you may have heard a few snaps, but that's not solidly in place yet. What you're going to notice is on each of these tabs, these need to be fully seated and the triangular plastic piece completely on the inside of the holes of the plastic. Now you've got a new gasket here, so it's going to be very hard to do. So what I found is if you take a pair of pliers and grab it on the inside edge of the lens and under the frame, you can squeeze it down enough and apply the pressure to get this seated. You've got a brand new sill, so you're not going to have to worry about humidity and moisture getting inside of the lens and then ruining your brand new lenses. As you can see, these are properly seated. You can see a good portion of the plastic underneath the plastic tab that comes out. You can see the plastic of the lens. It's down. An example of one that is not properly seated is this one right here. So you still need to apply the pressure, get it lined up, and then get it snapped into place. Again, you can use the pliers if need be on the edges of the lens. Just make sure you don't crack them. Okay, now that you've got all three of the top, the side, and then the bottoms all firmly seated, you've got your new lens on, and now it's just a mere fact of putting your trim back on. So we do it in the reverse order. We'll start with the bottom trim, get all your tabs in place, and then simply press fit it back into place. You'll hear each snap as they firmly seat. You now have that piece back on. The next thing you're going to want to put back on is your top trim molding. And here I would suggest starting at the bottom and just getting everything aligned in the holes all the way around, and then simply press it all in until it snaps. And once it all snaps, you're done. Now this would be a good point to use some electrical contact cleaner and just simply take all of your connections and spray them inside and out, and then also on the back of the light, any connection points, spray them as well to get all the dirt and grime off and make sure you've got a good electrical connection when you put everything back together. Okay, next once your light's done, you're going to bring it over to the vehicle and you're just going to replace all the plugs. And you're going to push them in until they snap. Remember, the snaps appear to go on top for all of them, and they should firmly seat. And there's only one fit for each plug. What you're going to do is you're going to slide the light housing in. All your connections have already been made and they're in place. And as you slide it back in, what you're going to look for is the screw in the back and the plastic piece, and just simply make sure that it's lined up as you slide it back in. And as you do, that'll make it go in simply. So that's back in position. Next, we're going to come back down to our side molding and go ahead and push it back into place and make sure that it's seated. Then we're going to put the screws back in. Okay, remember your black screws are going to go on top, and as you're putting them in, you're going to apply some pressure on the little beam here and then the body panel beam, and press it back as you seat it, and then your back one. And then remember the little trick with the shop towel. You're going to put your last one in and go down in between the light and find the hole down there for which to put it in. We need to reinstall our side marker, and it just clips back in. And once it firmly seats, then you can take and insert it back into the housing here. There's a little washer here that you're going to want to get on top of this piece. And then there's two little grooves here that are going to fit down into the grooves of the plastic of the light. So you can start it off with your finger or a screwdriver. Use a small flathead screwdriver to lift the washer up and over that piece, and then slide it back in, and it should be seated firmly. And at that point it's simply tightening the screw back down to hold it into place, and then you're done. Okay. Final item is putting your windshield washer nozzle for your headlight washers back on. So if you've got the new piece, it's simply going to slide down onto the new piece here, and then the two clips at the bottom are going to clip in, and that's these. So once you have that assembled, you're going to reach in with your needle nose, grab the tube firmly, pull it all the way out. You can put some pressure to your left or right, or you can hold it, and you're simply going to slide the nozzle into place and snap it in. And at this point you can let it retract back into place and hopefully catch your glove. You're now done. All you need to do is put windshield washer fluid back into your reservoir, and you're ready to go, and you can see again. So at this point your car now has new lights, and you've already replaced your headlight washer nozzles and the covers over them. And you can get these painted, by the way, from your local BMW dealer. A good one should only charge you maybe a maximum of about 10 a piece, or you might get lucky and get them to do them for 10 for both of them. The little toe connectors on the car typically run about $10. They're roughly the same size, so it shouldn't cost you much for those covers. So at this point, put more fluid into your windshield washer reservoir, and now enjoy that you can see again out of your headlights at night. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thank you for watching.